It's time. It is time. The mood is set. I'm so stuffy from my allergies. We're gonna read, and we'll see how it goes. I have to finish this by Sunday, so. Good morning. I just got out of the shower, but thought I would hop on quickly and introduce this book a little bit better. I've read 49 pages, an hour of the audiobook. Yeah, so far so okay. I don't love this writing style per se, but I do like the cast of character. The audiobook is full cast, which is really cool. But yeah, so far it's like alright. We're following our main character Jess primarily, and Jess is moving briefly, temporarily, into her half-brother Ben's apartment with him because she's kind of going through it. We don't know yet what's happening, but it's kind of alluded to a few things potentially happening so far. And then we're also meeting the residents of this apartment building. It's a really posh, expensive, like locked up in like the end of a cul-de-sac kind of apartment building. And yeah, again, like out of Ben's budget, so she's curious as to like how he got this place. She's seeing some weird evidence appear. We had seen like what happened to Ben slightly at the beginning, so we kind of have like an idea of what could have happened, but all of the characters seem so suspect. I don't know what's happening. Everyone right now is the bad guy because they're all like blaming Ben for something. His name's Benjamin Daniels, and it's just like this big deal. So yeah, I am intrigued to see where this goes. I won't get to read it until later this evening when I get off work. But yeah, that's my little update. Just 50 pages in, like not even a dent yet. But the live show is tomorrow, so I definitely gotta breeze through this, right? Good morning, guys. It is almost 7 in the morning. I woke up at like 6 because I need to finish this book before 10, and I will have like 30 minutes left before the live show, so I'm not gonna really properly finish it in time, but it's fine. Anyway, big book. I'm almost at the halfway mark now, and I don't know if mysteries are for me. I don't know if they're my genre, which is fine. Learning something new about my reading taste. But yeah, it's okay. We just got to one of the plot twists, like around the 160 mark, and it's not that interesting. I don't care enough about these characters. We know now that like somebody was for sure in Ben's apartment the night that he went missing. We know that everybody has secrets. Again, the reveal just happened, so that gives us a little bit more insight to this apartment building, which is interesting. Oh, the lighting just changed so much. And so like it's something, but yeah, I'm not that intrigued. I don't really care about Ben, what's happened to him. I just don't think mysteries are really for me. But I'm going to continue reading, finish this, and then come back later with some more thoughts.
somebody, not full brother, but a brother, right? So she goes and said, I'm gonna go holler at him in Paris, right? And while she's in Paris, she realized the math is not mathing. Why? Because the man is missing.
Hey, so I finished The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I did my little makeup look inspired. Let's see. That's the look. I officially finished. These camera angles are going to change constantly. But I finished, so I thought we could do a little rundown, breakdown, review. That's fine. Anyway, I finished. The live show was so much fun. It was so funny. I was laughing so much. It was such a good time, just overall. Highly recommend. If you read this, go watch the live show, see what it's all about, hang out. The next one is for All Her Little Secrets, and Brie, I guess, read it and was like, I'm excited. The book troupe, which is Gabby Reed's book club, is also reading this. Their live show is the 30th. I don't know if this video will be up by then. Excited for that as well. So those are those updates. I have notes. I'm doing this professionally. So first, let's break down this plot. This is following a large cast of characters, many people. I want to say there's like 5 or 6 perspectives, which is kind of a lot. But yeah, so we're following primarily Jess, which is our main character, kind of going through it. She's not the type of person to be tied down. Anyway, she is kind of going through it, so she kind of escapes her life in London and heads for Paris to stay with her half-brother Ben for the time being, to get back on her feet. But Ben is missing. Ben's gone. Where'd Ben go? Boom, the Paris apartment. So Ben lives in this really posh, nice apartment, and she doesn't understand why or how. He's just like a food critic, a restaurant journalist. It just doesn't make sense how he lives in this really nice place, and he's missing. So Jess takes it upon herself because she does not want to speak to the police. The police are bad. We don't speak to them. So she's gonna find the clues and search for her brother herself. What a cast of characters. So I have not read the guest list, so I don't have a lot of experience with like a big cast in my thriller. I would say this is definitely more of a mystery, which I'm learning is just not really my thing. I want more thrills than this. This only had like slight thrills at the very end. I need more. Also, so many characters, like kind of too many characters. They weren't fleshed out enough. They weren't interesting enough. They were kind of just a hot mess. The perspective I like the most would be Nick. Nick is the resident on the 2nd floor. He's also Ben's friend, and interesting guy, goes through a lot. And I would say that's probably my favorite perspective. Yeah, Mimi was unhinged. Sophie, weird. Antoine, pointless. And it's just a weird place. Jess is a weird character to follow because she's so trustworthy. Like, her brother is missing and she's like, ah, yeah, I trust every man I come in contact with. No. The men were all the same. Honestly, all the characters were the same. All in love with the same person. Why is that weird? Okay, let's look at my notes now. Oh yeah. The first thing on here is very British. If you have seen my video where I read Razorblade Tears, there's a few words I really don't like. The C word is one of them, and that makes an appearance quite a lot because it's very British. Didn't like it. Loved the audiobook though. Full cast with the perfect accents of English and French, and it was very well done. Definitely helped read this so much faster, as well as just like the unhinged of the characters and like what's going down. Like the voice actors did a fantastic job. The audiobook was great. I do highly recommend. I didn't need the book. I'm a little sad I wasted my book of the month credit that I've been saving for this, but it's fine. Anyway, continuing on. As for the overall plot and writing style, I did not jive with her writing style that much. I just kind of felt it was boring and flat. This is definitely more character driven than it is plot driven. The plot was interesting, definitely could have been more. I was more interested in the second half plot than Ben's disappearance. I really didn't care about Ben. Could have been dead, could have been alive, could have like just left town. I didn't care where he went or why. So I wish that we saw more of the second half of the book, where it kind of delves into like the deeper reason to everything. I'm trying to keep this spoiler free the best I can. But yeah, I just didn't love the writing style, didn't love the plot, didn't love the twists, the reveals. The first reveal came at, like I said in my earlier, was page 160-ish, and the first reveal was like, okay, and then the more reveals we got, I was like, yeah, so, and okay. I just didn't feel anything. They weren't surprising. I didn't feel shocked. I felt like, although I didn't necessarily see certain things coming, I knew where the story was going. I knew what was happening and what was going to happen. Slight spoiler, I knew what happened to Ben very early on. I knew what was going to happen to him and where he was going to end up. Maybe that's why I didn't care so much what happened, because the clue was a bit too heavy-handed. The atmosphere just lacked for me. There was not enough imagery for me. I didn't picture Paris like I wanted. She definitely leaves the apartment building and like goes places, but I just didn't feel like there was enough of that for me. I didn't see enough of Paris. I'm sure we can all relate at some point when we're like middle school. We have a phase. It's either the London, the New York, or the Paris phase. I had a London phase, and then I had a major Paris phase, to the point of like in high school my room was decorated Paris. The bathroom in my house is now decorated Paris because we didn't know what to do with the decor. I wanted more Paris vibes. I wanted more Parisian everything. I really loved the French in this, especially listening to the audiobook, because your girl cannot read French. I don't know her. It's too hard for me. It's the dream, but I'm not there yet. But I loved listening to the audiobook whilst it read it to me and hearing it, because it's just beautiful. Another thing, because it's Paris, the city of lights, romance, love, everyone's in love with the same character, and there's just like unnecessary sexual tension and scenes that I just didn't feel did anything for the plot. I didn't feel like they were needed. I feel like Lucy Foley drops a lot of just like random things and then moves on with her day and just like doesn't address it later. Like, it doesn't come back. It's just like this weird tidbit of information, and you're like, okay, cool. Like, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it, but cool. That's, yeah. And then my final two qualms with this, there were a few things said. Hello, sweetheart. There were a few things said, two specific scenes, drops of lines that I was like, why? The Halloween scene, completely unnecessary. did not need to be there, didn't appreciate it, didn't like what it was alluding to for no reason. Like, it didn't do anything for the plot. It didn't need to be there. 2, weird little like drop of someone being depressed in a metaphor or like a simile, something like that, saying how self-harmers are really like addicted to it, and didn't need it. It was weird, didn't need it. There was just one singular line, not necessary. Didn't love it. Finally, the last thing is the main character Jess, her backstory with why she doesn't like the police, why she's leaving. Weak. I didn't think it was that interesting. It wasn't that deep. Kind of a letdown for overall reason to just like flee London and go to Paris and avoid the police and so on and so forth. I feel like that backstory could have been better, seeing as like their childhood story was really interesting. I did really enjoy that. I liked how her and Ben, seeing as they're half siblings, how they were raised and what happened with their mom. And I wish that it kind of spoke a little bit further on the adoption process, being a foster kid versus getting adopted. I feel like that could have been dealt with further and talked about more, because I think that's a really interesting conversation already. No spoilers, but the end of the plot, I really was into that. I really would have liked this book probably from like Irene's perspective. Like if Irene was the main character and maybe you had Ben and Nick or Mimi, sure, those 4, like those 4 would be fine, and it primarily focused on Irene and Ben. Would have loved that as a thriller. That, like, this had potential, and the apartment drama of this mystery didn't care for. Could have loved a thriller about different topics. So that's that. Another thing that I did enjoy besides the audiobook, honestly, the audiobook just has like my most praise entirely, but I also enjoyed the short chapters. There, whilst listening to the audiobook, there's like 92 chapters in this. There's only 360 pages, 357, not including the acknowledgements. Short chapters, love it so much. It makes me feel like I'm reading so much faster and just like going through it. This was a very quick read. 24-hour readathon, I crushed it. It's not like a consecutive, but I'm gonna count it because I read 50 pages Friday, and then Saturday I read a whole lot, and then this morning I read the rest of it, and then this afternoon I finished it. So I'm still counting that as 24 hours, because if you total all of it up, it is less than, because the audiobook at 1.8 speed and sometimes 2, depending on how I was feeling and if I could understand the French accent enough, was like 6 or so hours. So I finished this. I did it. Yes, that is my review. I ended up giving this 2 stars. Did it on Copile. It just wasn't for me. I really don't love mysteries. Unfortunately, the book club this year, the Literally Dead book club this year, has not been giving me wins. I feel like last year when I joined when they picked up Every Value Break by Peter Swanson, and I loved that. Unpopular opinion, apparently. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one and had pretty good success last year. Again, I didn't read all of them, so maybe that's why, but yeah, this year it's not my favorite. This year it's not going as great, but that's okay. It is a pretty book. I got a really cute makeup look out of it, so not a complete loss. And yeah, that is my review, my ending. I apologize that this is kind of probably going to be my shortest buzzword 24-hour readathon video, because I only read one book. Just this one. Just the one. 357 pages. But that's okay with me. I'm okay with a shorter video here and there, a shorter reading vlog, because as we've noticed, I tend to overdo it, and then all of a sudden I'm stressed and I don't achieve what I mean to achieve. It's fine. I will hopefully be coming out soon with my April TBR. Spoiler alert, I'm participating in 3 readathons. 4 readathons. What's wrong with me? Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me. If you guys read this, please let me know your thoughts. Did you love it? Did you love it? Did you love it? Tell me if you loved it. Tell me if you hated it. Also, we can like talk mad shit. I'm down for that too. But yes, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you either want to pick this up or will avoid picking it up, because I don't have a lot of high praise. Again, highly recommend you check out the live show for this, because Megan with Books, Megan really enjoyed this book. She gave it 5 stars. So if you want a broad perspective, every side of who loved it and hated it, definitely check out their live show, because it was fantastic. And then you can hang out with the people of the book club. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to. No pressure. All right, bye.